Hey, what's up guys? It's Austin, and a few days ago I said in a video, I was talking about something that happened recently, and I asked if you guys wanted to hear a full story about it. I didn't think it would really be necessary because it wasn't that interesting. Like, I basically just got my card stolen and spent on some pretty ridiculous shit, and a bunch of people were like, oh, just make it into a full video, I want to hear the whole story. So I thought I would do that today, so I hope you guys enjoy this story video today. Leave a like if you do, and here it is. So this all started at the end of last month in May, and I remember specifically, this kid, I haven't talked to him in so long, right? Like, we didn't hang out for months and months on end, and I met back up with him, and I've known this kid specifically for 3 fucking years. Like, straight up, I've been friends with this kid for so long, and he's a very trustworthy person. I've trusted him with, like, shit tons of private information, and just, I thought he was a fucking cool dude. And, in the past 3 years, he's never done anything sketchy whatsoever. So, like, seeing this was a huge surprise to me. So I thought I would tell the whole story. So, like I said, I met this kid 3 years ago. And the whole reason we actually, like, clicked so well is because I used to play a lot of Xbox. And so did he. So we'd always play online. And then we'd hang out in real life. So we were always talking, okay? And he loved Xbox, okay? Specifically Xbox. Remember that. You'll know why in a minute. So like I said, we started hanging out again, right? And we meet up at the mall. First time seeing him in months. And we're just kind of like catching up, talking, just, asking what's up, what he's been up to. Same thing for me. And just pretty much catching up. And he says that he's hungry and he wants to go grab something to eat. And he asked me if I wanted anything because he was going to pay for it. And me being a good friend, I was like, nah, dude, I got it, okay? I got it. And this is my fault. This is a fucking complete mistake by me. And I should have never done this no matter how much I trusted this person. I just thought, 3 years, knowing him for a long time and doing this before, it wouldn't happen. I handed him my card. I was like, you know what, dude, just go pay for it. Bring it back. And he didn't look at it, like completely looked up. He's like, oh, you sure, dude? I was like, yeah, man, it's on me. And he's like, oh, dude, thank you. And he runs up to the line and he gets in line, right? And just chill out. I know that comment is being written right now, being like, Luna, you're a fucking idiot. I knew it. You're an aluminum can. Okay, look, I know I'm fucking stupid for that, but I've done this before. Literally like 6 times before this. Like the first year I met him, I gave him my other card to buy food once, and he literally went up to the line. I went to the bathroom and completely wasn't even watching, and he handed it back to me, and we straight up never had a fucking problem whatsoever. Like, he never did anything sketchy, like never stole any money, and like, from that point on, I was like, damn, this kid's actually a good person. Like, he's a very trustworthy friend. And I remember specifically one time, too, after this, I lost my wallet in some room in my house. Like, I left it in the downstairs room, and I went upstairs, and I basically forgot about it. So I'm looking all around upstairs for it, and I didn't realize it was downstairs. And my friend was like, yo, I think you left it in the basement. And I was like, oh, really? Like, did you see it? He's like, yeah. I was like, why don't you just grab it? He's like, well, I didn't want you thinking I was doing something weird, you know what I mean? Like, he was one of those people that would go out of his way to not do something sketchy so that he, looked more trustworthy. I guess it was all a fucking plan, or maybe he used to be really cool and then recently he just, like, developed some severe zebra cake addiction and had to buy, like, sweets all the time. I don't fucking know. But, yeah, this motherfucker jumped in the line at Taco Bell. He's sitting there waiting to get up front. And, it was fucking Taco Bell. I didn't care about paying for both of our dinner. Like, it's like $6 fucking dollars, dude. I don't care. And he's sitting in line looking at his phone, and he has his card in the other hand with his hand closed. So he literally didn't look like he was going to do anything sketchy. And I guess when I looked away, he grabbed his phone and he's like, I got his card, let me snap a picture or two. And he fucking snapped a photo of my card, went up to the Taco Bell line, bought like $20 in food there. Keep in mind, $20 at Taco Bell could probably feed a fucking family, okay? That's ridiculous. I felt robbed already at this point, okay? But anyway, I'm kidding. He did buy $20 though. It's fucking a lot of food, okay? But anyway, he came back, sat down at our table, hands me back my card. He's like, don't worry, I didn't look or anything. And, just trying to assure me that I didn't have anything to worry about. I had to make sure that he's a good person, right? And we basically get done at the mall, right? We, like, went shopping for a little bit, left the mall, I go home, he goes home, and that was it, right? At least I thought. And then some time goes by, and a few days ago, I open up my, like, bank thing, and I realized something that's just a little bit weird. Like, I didn't realize it until now. There was a bunch, like, a fuck ton of Xbox purchases, right? I was like, wait, Xbox? I haven't bought anything on Xbox for literally like 2 months. It's been a long time. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And it was like 2 like $21 purchases, right? So I kind of like ignored it for a little bit. And then I thought to myself, I was like, well, my Xbox membership renews soon, so maybe it's just that. And I kind of ignored it. And then I kind of scrolled down and I realized like there was a fuck ton more that I missed. There was like literally $600 in Xbox purchases on my fucking card that I had no idea. Like, I didn't even notice it. I have no idea how I didn't see it. I think this kid literally made them so fast that they basically went down to the bottom of the list so quick. And I was like, okay, well, fuck me. So I have to like call my bank. I'm like, yeah, I think someone stole my card and like bought a bunch of Xbox video games and shit. And he's like, Xbox? And he knew what I was talking about. Like, apparently he has one. So he like looks through the transactions and he's like, yeah, you're looking at well over $400 of Xbox stuff. I was like, yeah, I don't play Xbox that much. He's like, yeah, man, even if you did, I don't think anyone would actually spend $400 on video games that quick. And I was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, they're all within like a week period too. I was like, this is weird. But anyway, I freeze my card, and this guy's just like, do you know who could have done it? And I was like, I honestly have no idea, because at this point I was like, there was no way it was him. I've known this kid for 3 years. I've done this before with him. Like, he's never done anything sketchy. There's no way. So I'm sitting there like going through all my list of friends, thinking of situations. Maybe someone at a store got it, you know what I mean? I was like, all right, whatever. I have plans with him tomorrow anyway. I'm going to go to his house, see if he knows anything about it. If he doesn't, whatever. So the next day I get to his house. I ask him about it. He has no fucking clue what I'm talking about. He actually gets like really upset. He's like, dude, that's the scummiest thing I've ever heard. Like, whoever did that is not a fucking friend. That's mean. I was like, all right, so you don't know anything about it. He's like, dude, I would never do something like that. You're my homie. I've known you for years, like so long. I was like, yeah, you're right. I didn't think so. And I like slapped him up. He was being really cool. So later in the night, I'm sitting there on his bed, and he walks out of the room, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do something a little bit shady right now. I just got to check. So I grabbed his controller, his little Xbox One controller, and I went through his games, and he had a bunch of recently downloaded, like brand new digital downloaded games. And I go to the game store, and I go to buy something, and I look at the payment options, and one of them has the last 4 digits of my card. And I was like, huh, that's oddly familiar. And it has my name on it too, like it had all my billing info and shit. I was like, oh, okay, well, now we know who did it, right? So I went over to the payment options. I deleted my card because obviously I didn't want him to have access to it even though it was frozen. And I unplugged his power cable from his Xbox and just put it in my backpack. And I walked out the front door, and he saw me walking out. He's like, dude, where are you going? And I was like, fuck off, dude, seriously? He's like, what? I was like, why can't you spend it on something cool? Like, if you're gonna steal from me, buy a fucking ticket. Do anything. Why would you buy Xbox games? What person needs $600 in Xbox video games? Like, that's just fucking absurd, dude. Like, I'm more upset that you spent money you stole from me on Xbox games than actually doing something cool with it. Like, if you're gonna steal from me, at least do something cool. And I just proceeded to walk away. Like, I literally walked down the street, pulled my phone out, proceeded to tweet a bunch of angry impulse tweets, and that was pretty much the end of it. And yes, my dumbass did take his Xbox cord and basically ground him for a week from his Xbox, because, I don't know, I was like, you know what, I need to do something to get back at him. I'm just going to take his fucking Xbox cord. Now, obviously, once I tweeted, I had a bunch of people replying, being like, dude, fuck that kid, you know, tweet his phone number, tweet this about him, and it's like, that's just fucking stupid. Why would I ever do something just as bad to get back at him? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to fucking use YouTube and you guys to get back at someone that's in my personal life. Like, that's just fucking shady, I think. Like, to tweet someone's personal phone number and use you guys to spam him and, like, fuck with him, I think that's kind of messed up. Messed up to you guys, not him. I'm not talking about fucking him whatsoever. Just to use you guys for something like that, I think that's messed up. But yeah, anyway, he couldn't play his Xbox for, like, a couple days because, yeah, I took his power cable. I think he had to go to a store and get a new one. I haven't really talked to him since because, well, it's fucked up. And get this shit, right? Right after it happened, I got a text message from him that I didn't see immediately because I was, like, ignoring him. And it was, like, a long message of him, like, apologizing. And I'm a nice fucking guy. I'm going to accept your apology, but I'm not going to fucking hang out with you anymore because, you know, he stole a bunch of money and spent it on Xbox games. But he literally, like, shared it with other people. So there was, like, I think 2 or 3 other motherfuckers using it to buy Xbox games. It wasn't just him. I don't even want to think about what he did. He probably, like, got into a party. He's like, yo, so my friend of 3 years, right? He gave me his card to go and buy Taco Bell with it. And I took a bunch of photos with my phone. And I fucking got it, guys. Like, we're going to go on a fucking spending spree. Whatever game you want, whatever video game you fucking want, we're playing that shit right now. And yeah, they proceeded to do it and just go on a spending spree. And my card has a limit. It's like a $500 limit. So, like, the first day, I'm pretty sure they went all out and made, like, a bunch of small transactions. And then they hit the limit. And it pretty much stopped them from buying anything for the rest of that day. And then from that point on, they kind of did, like, smaller purchases up to, like, 600. And then I finally noticed it and caught on. Like, if I wouldn't have checked my bank that day, it probably would have went on for, like, a couple more days. And it would have been even more, which is just unbelievably upsetting, man. It's really pathetic. But anyway, keep this in mind. Kid's got a fucking job, too, which is just, dude, full-time job, too. Like, could easily afford that many games, but nah. Gotta steal from my friend of 3 years named Austin, because fuck that guy. But anyway, yeah, it pretty much ended there. I mean, I accepted his apology. Probably not going to hang out with him anymore because, like, it's kind of fucked up that he did that. Really fucked up. But, I don't know. I got the money back. It's not a big deal. Like, the money's not the problem. It's just, like, shady-ass people, dude. Like, you think you know somebody for years on end, right? And they've done all these things, and they're, like, super trustworthy people. And then, like, one day, they're like, I'm just going to steal from you today. I'm bored. But, yeah, I guess moral of the story is, trust people, but don't fucking give them your card, because then you're an idiot like me, and you'll end up getting like $600 in Xbox video game charges to your fucking card, and you feel like an idiot, because I feel pretty fucking stupid for doing that, but that's life. I guess you live and you learn, and won't do that again. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Leave a like if you did enjoy it. Feel free to leave any of your stories in the comments down below, and yeah, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. What is up, guys? It is Austin FFA or Luna. So it's been a while since I've done one of these gameplay commentaries. I've been doing webcam videos just because, like, I haven't been playing a lot of AW, but last night I was grinding it and I got some great gameplay. So this is a first time story, and I didn't get to one of these. Originally I was supposed to have this out like 3 days ago, but I wanted to make that video yesterday because, like I said, comments were disappointing me. But anyway, got a video today, AW gameplay, Advanced Warfare, great game. But this is about the first time I had sex. Now, yeah, I don't really recommend fucking people if you're like under the age of like at least 17 or something. Because, like, I don't know, it's just sometimes you're very inexperienced, and that's kind of how this went. But anyway, I'm just going to get into it. So, this took place about a year ago. I should have said a week ago, just so I could put Bobby Shmurda on the thing. But this happened a year ago, and it's like always when my stories happen. But, oh, fuck, I got to do that Q&A with my mom today. But anyway, this took place a year ago, and it was in school. And I remember this one in particular girl at the time that I was dating, and she was very, I guess you could say, clingy, and I don't like clingy girls. They're just kind of annoying. I don't know, but I was really trying to just I hate using this word, hit it and quit it. That phrase is horrible. It's so fucked up to say, but I was really just trying to, like, get out of that relationship as quick as possible. It didn't even matter about sex. Like, I didn't give a fuck. But she was kind of, like, you could say, throwing herself at me. I know that sounds so stupid saying that, but for some reason, like, every day after school, she'd always want me to come over to her house. She'd always tell me her parents weren't home. So one day I decided to do it. So I went to her house, and no one was home. It was like 3:30, and they didn't get home till like 6:30. So I was like, all right. So, we're watching movies, and we're just having a fun time watching movies. We were making out, doing whatever, and things got a little intimate, hands were placed and things were touched. But after like 45 minutes of just kind of playing around, we finally got into the actual thing that is called business or sex. And it was pretty weird. It wasn't like, it was my first times. I was kind of nervous. I didn't really know. Before I got my pants off, I remember I had a little hard time getting the Rocket Man going at first because I was nervous. But, as soon as she got undressed, I was pretty much all right. So that was pretty fucking awkward. But she didn't see anything floppy, don't worry. But, oh my God, I just went so into detail with that. I hate going into detail with these stories. They gross me out. But anyway, we got into business, and, it wasn't that awkward. It was just more, it was my first time. I just wanted to make sure she didn't think I was like some fucking idiot who doesn't know what he's doing. So I tried my best to be professional, and this girl was very, like, hot. So I was kind of nervous, but everything ended up being all right. Like 20 minutes in, it got pretty serious, and then after like an hour and 20 minutes, we were finally finished. And I know, for a first time, an hour and 20 minutes is pretty fucking good. It was hard to last that long, but it was doable. But anyway, afterwards, we just watched a couple more movies, and I went home right when our parents got there. I just said hello and then left. And we actually had sex like 4 other times after that, but it wasn't as awkward as the first time. But let me hear some of your experiences in the comments below. Leave a like if you did enjoy. Sex stories, I know you guys love those. For some reason, I always end up breaking like 400 likes on some of these. But anyway, it's been Austin FFA Luna. I hope you guys have a great week. I'm sorry if I sound stuffed up. I'm sick. But anyway, guys, I love you all. Peace. What is going on, guys? Austin FFA here, or Luna. So today I have a very, very crazy promise story I would bring to you guys. And let me know how the mic sounds. I turned the input volume down, and I have a pop filter on the mic. And it's not even a pop filter. It's just like a thick Nike sock that, I don't know, I just washed it and was like, hey, you're my new pop filter. I mean, I've used them before, and they usually make my commentary sound pretty damn dank. So why the fuck not? But anyway, so your boy Luna has a story for you today that I think you guys are going to very much enjoy, and I know you guys have been hyped for it, and I've been hyping it up, saying that, I'm going to release it today, and it was supposed to be out like 2 days ago, but I actually did another video for today, but I didn't end up uploading it, so I have this one. So this is called Caught Smoking Weed at Summer Camp, and this is crazy. So if you watch my previous summer camp video, I explained how the summer camp is strict. They're actually... You guys are going to make fun of me for this. It's a Christian summer camp, believe it or not. So you go there, and, like, every day you have to wake up at, like, 7 in the morning and go to fucking church. And, like, don't ask why I was there, okay? Maybe my mom thought I needed, like, an exorcism because, Illuminati confirmed. But anyway, I went to this summer camp. It's a Christian summer camp, like I said. And this was after the first time I almost got caught. So that's why we thought we were going to do it again without getting caught. So in the first story, like I said, it was a cabin mate, like a cabin kid. Someone who was staying in my cabin saw us smoking weed, and he smoked with us, which is funny. But the second time was actually I got caught by a counselor. So I'm going to jump into this. So this was literally, I was at the camp for a week and a half. So this was like 3 days after we smoked weed the first time. And we had just a little bit left. I had like a teeny bit of what I had left. Not even a lot. Not even enough for like half a bowl pack. But my one friend ended up getting his, he got like a little dime to bring with him. Just in case we wanted to do it again. We didn't really plan on it. But he ended up bringing his dime sack with him. So we said, you know what? Why not? So... Like I said, it's like 3 days after the last smoke sesh happened, and this was a stupid mistake because the rules require you to stay in the cabin at all times after 10:30, I think. You cannot leave. You cannot go to other cabins. That's a really big no-no. Even in the daytime, you can't. You can't go and get slushies because they have like a slushie machine out. Like they have like the way the camp worked, it was like a little town surrounded by cabins. And, like, they could only fit, like, 200 kids in at a time because the cabins were so small. But it was, like, cabins surrounded by a little, like, main area. And the main area had, like, a convenience store and, like, slushy area and, like, a lunch thing and a whole bunch of stuff. But we wanted to sneak out. We were like, hey, it was, like, 11:30, almost midnight, basically midnight. And we wanted to sneak out. We were like, you know what? What's possibly the worst thing that could happen? We're fine. We got this. So... my friend, we have a window on the back of the cabin, and we thought, hey, when it's an emergency window, keep that in mind, so you could easily fit people out the window. Everyone in the cabin was my age, so we were all pretty chill with each other, and I just told them, we're gonna sneak out. And they were like, are you sure? Like, what if they ask us where you are? I'm like, just say that you don't know. Say that we went to the bathroom or something, because you're allowed to go to the bathroom, but you have to be with, like, an admin, or, like a cabin owner. So say that I went to the bathroom and say that he didn't know that you had to be with someone. So he's like, all right, man, I got you. So the guy, every night at like 10:45, our cabin master was so weird. He would go out on the front of the porch of the cabin and just play his acoustic guitar for like 35 minutes. Not that that's weird, but you're supposed to be watching the kids. So when he was playing his guitar really loud, actually, I just cracked the window open and me and my boy just jumped out the window. So me and my one friend, and it was actually, I think there was 2 people with me. Me, my one friend, and the kid we smoked with previously, and the last story came with us. So we went to the main part of the town, and they actually asked us, are you guys supposed to be out of your cabins? And we were like, yeah, we have permission. And they're like, all right, well, have a good night. So they didn't say anything, but secretly, that bastard knew. The little fucking douchebag who said, are you guys out? Are you, like, allowed to be out? He tattled on us. He told everyone in, like, there's, like, a radio you can talk in, and it says, it, like, goes out to the whole cabin. Like, everyone who has a cabin, it goes out to them. So the whole, like, 30 cabins got this radio message saying, we have 2 kids. We don't know whose cabin they belong to. Can you please radio back in and let me know your attendance? So, I know this because after we got caught, they told us. So, me and my boys, we went to the bridge that actually leads over, like, a street, and that's where we saw, I think in my last story I talked about how we saw kids like running away. It leads over a street. We went to the bridge and no one was there, so we just started blazing up on this bridge. We were smoking weed on this bridge, just having such a great time. These memories, when I reflect on them, I really do miss smoking, but it's just not like that anymore with me. I remember I had the best memories when I used to smoke weed. I had the best possible memories there are. So we were just having a great time. I remember kicking jokes back and forth, just enjoying ourselves. And after we got done smoking, like I said, it was only like a dime sack and then a little bit of what I had left. So it was kind of funny because one of the weeds was an indica, and then the one I had was like a little bit of a sativa. I had a tiny bit of sativa weed. So it was just a really weird mixture high, and it was just really nice. Like, we were really out of it. Like, we wanted to pass the fuck out because it was so late. It was like 12:30 at this point. And here's where shit goes down. So we got done smoking weed, and then I checked my time, and I realized it was almost 1 in the morning. And I was like, fuck. Because we walked really slowly to the spot. It took us almost 30 minutes to get to the bridge spot. And at this point, I realized, I was like, wow, we gotta, like, go back. Like, we're gonna get in trouble. Like, everyone's sleeping. All the cabin lights were off. The whole little cabin town, like, the whole camp was, like, shut off. And we were like, fuck. Like, we're really, like, this is late. We can't even sneak back in. And this is where I thought, what was I thinking? I remember my friends and me started talking, and my one friend's really paranoid. I remember he kept saying, like, oh my god, dude, like, this is horrible. We're gonna get caught. Like, how are we gonna get back in? Like, and that's what he did. He put his hands around his ears and just started screaming. Like, he didn't scream, but he was like really loud, and he was like, how are we gonna get back in? Oh my god, I just remembered. Like, I remembered we didn't think about how to get back in. And I was like, dude, it's okay. We'll get back in through the window. Like, because if you guys, I didn't tell you this, but the cabin master of our cabin, he had a hammock on the front porch, and like the whole time we were there, he was falling asleep out there. So we figured he'd be there, and that we could just sneak in through the back window. The one fucking day he doesn't sleep on the hammock is the day that we sneak out. So he's in the cabin, and we don't know. We think he's on the front porch, and we make our way back on. Like, we were on the very edge of the campgrounds. We make our way back onto the camp, and the minute we step foot on like the main part of the camp where all the convenience stores are, someone busts out of the convenience store with a giant flashlight and shines it on us and goes, do you belong to cabin 12? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, are you allowed to be out? I'm like, yeah. And all my friends are like, yeah, we can be out. He's like stuttering, like we're all scared. And he's like, really? Because your cabin master says different. And we were like, ah, fuck. So they immediately looked at us and was like, you smell like weed. Like, the one guy, like the camp masters were all actually a lot of people in their late 20s, so they know. They were like, you smell like weed. I was like, that's not me. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't smoke drugs. I never will. And he's like, really? Empty your pockets. And I immediately was just like, oh my god. Like, I remember immediately just saying, like, great. So I got the little empty bag of weed in my pocket while my friend has his bowl and the whatever was left of what we smoked. And there was really nothing left, so we wouldn't have any weed on us. But we had to empty our pockets. They had the security guard come out, and he has the legal warrant to search us, because I guess when you sign up to go to this camp, your parents are allowed to sign you up for searches. So that was actually probably a lie. We probably could have refused and not gotten in trouble, but they searched us all, found the bowl, which had obvious weed residue and tar on it, or not tar, res. So there was obviously proof of evidence that we were smoking. And they were like, wow, so you guys were smoking weed? And I was like, yes, we were smoking weed. Like, there was nothing I could do at that point. We were caught red-handed. So I just said, yes, we are smoking weed. Please don't tell our parents. Like, please. Like, we started begging. And they were like, well, you got caught smoking weed, and we sadly have a policy here of no drugs on the campus. And we were like, really? Like, we can't, you can't just, like, forget about it? And they're like, nope. And I was like, okay, well, we're going to bed. And they're like, oh, no, not so fast. Like, go inside the store. So they brought us in this convenience store, guys. And they bring us in this convenience store, make us pick up the phone. And they're like, all right, call your parents. I was like, what? They're like, call your parents. I'm like, it's 1:30 in the morning. My mom's not awake. They're like, no, you got to call your parents. I was like, fuck that. I'm not calling my parents. I'm going to leave before you do that. And he's like, oh, I'll call her for you. I have her number. And I was like, good for you. Fuck off. And I just walked out. And I left the office, or not the office, the convenience store. And while I was leaving the convenience store, of course, some little golf cart patrol officer comes up, the rent-a-cop. He grabs me by my arm and says, can you please sit down with me on this, he asked me to come sit on the golf cart that he was on. And I was like, fine. He was being nice about it. He was a nice guy, and throughout the whole camp experience, he was very nice to me. So I sat down. He took me to the office. It was actually the registration office where you go when you arrive at the camp. And the more and more I talk about this, the more and more it makes me sound like this camp is a prison. So I get to this office and we go inside and I sit there with the administrator and one of the vice owners of the place, and they were like, I am just disrespected. I can't believe, the guy was like, I can't believe you smoked, you're doing drugs on our property, you signed up to come here and have fun over here, and you're not even, this is how you have fun. And I was like, okay, can you just call my mom and have her come pick me up? I'm not going to sit here and take abuse from two idiots. And they were like, okay, you know what, you don't have to disrespect us even more. You already did by smoking. And I was like, just call my mother, please. So they called up my mom, and after I didn't want to talk to her. They tried to give me the phone. I was like, fuck you. I didn't say fuck you, but I was like, no, screw you. I'm not taking that phone. And they grabbed the phone, and she answered, and she was actually, for some reason, my mom was awake this night. I don't know why. Usually she's asleep by 11:30. And they kept saying, we caught your son with drug paraphernalia. Or they said that apparently owning a bag of empty weed or an empty bag of weed is paraphernalia. And I was like, I actually interrupted him. I was like, you do not have paraphernalia. That's bullshit. And they're like, well, we caught his friends with paraphernalia, and he definitely shows signs of being under the influence. And I was just shaking my head back and forth. And I was caught red-handed, so I can't be a douche about it, but I was just a little upset. So after 10 minutes of them talking to my mom, I could actually hear her yelling on the phone, so I knew she was pissed because she has to drive an hour and a half to come get me at 2 in the morning at this point. So they bring in my friends to the administrative office, and they confiscated the bowl, my empty bag of weed, and they confiscated whatever was left that that kid had. So my mom got there. We had to have a huge talk for 30 minutes. It took her an hour to get out. At this point, it was 3:30 in the morning, and it was bad. I just remember them constantly talking they said, look at your son's eyes. Look at him. He's stoned. That's what the lady said. She's like, he's stoned. And I was like, yep, you caught me. I already admitted to it. Can I just go home now? And she's like, wait here, Austin. That's what my mom said. So they went to another room, and I could hear her through the door, and they kept constantly saying, she was like, we're a camp of respect. We're a Christian. We are a Christian place. And they were basically saying that what I was doing was evil. And I was like, how is smoking a fucking plant evil? I was so pissed. But and I heard her behind the door. She's like, we caught your son smoking weed. This isn't, there's nothing you can do to really. We're not gonna call the police, but he was caught red-handed, and we're gonna have to give him a 6-month permanent suspension from the camp. So if he wants to come back, it's gonna have to be next season. And my mom's like, okay, I'm fine with that. Just please take whatever he had whatever he had on him, please just confiscate from him. That's what my mom said. And she's like, I'll just take his phone. And they're like, okay, here's his phone. So they confiscated all my clothes. They had to look through my clothes and everything that I owned in that bag. And eventually they shipped it. They actually ended up mailing it to me 2 weeks later after they looked through everything to make sure I had nothing else on me. But that's the story. Holy fuck, this is a long commentary, but I hope you guys did enjoy. If you do like these long stories, please smash that like button. Let's go for 500 likes. That would make my day. Let's try and get 500 likes. I think we can do that. But yeah, it's been Luna, and I hope you guys did enjoy the story. It was really crazy, and it's a really crazy experience that I look back on. But my piece of advice to you is just don't smoke weed at camp. Simple as that. But yeah, that's it. Shit. I feel like I'm leaving something out. This is such a long story. I feel like I'm leaving parts out, but it's just crazy. But yeah, don't get caught smoking weed. I could have been we could have avoided this if we left everything that we had back on the bridge. But yeah, more of the story is don't get caught smoking weed at camp. I'll see you guys later. Peace.
Alright, so it's been a while since I've told a humiliating story, so I think it's about that time of the year where I humiliate myself for your guys' enjoyment. So I hope you enjoy this entertainment. Leave a like on the video for my pain, and let's jump into it. So, today's story time is about the time that I completely embarrassed myself, not only to my girlfriend, but to my girlfriend's mom. And yeah, let's just get into it. Today's story time all starts off as a regular day when I was 18 years old. I was with my girlfriend at her house, sitting in the kitchen eating dinner with her and her family, her dad, her little sister, just her whole family, right? And while we're sitting at the table eating dinner, her mom looks over at me and was like, Austin, I don't have your number. Can I get it? And I was like, yeah, for sure. And she's like, okay, thanks. I just want to have it in case there's any emergencies and I can't contact her. I can get to you. I was like, yeah, of course, I understand. So I give her my number, right? Now, that's nothing out of the ordinary at all. I've had that happen 100 times. I've always had people get my number or I get their number in case of an emergency and I can't contact the person they're with. It's just a very normal thing, and I didn't think anything of it. I thought nothing bad could come of it. I thought no accidents could happen, but I'm an idiot. So fast forward a month later. Me and my girlfriend are on a date. We're at this really nice restaurant. We're eating together, and in the middle of dinner, her phone dies. And she's like, fuck. I was like, what's up? She's like, my phone just died. Can you send a message for me? I was like, yeah, for sure. She's like, cool, you got my mom's number, right? I was like, yeah. She goes, all right, text her, tell her we'll be home at like midnight. I was like, all right, sounds good. So yeah, I texted her mom. I was like, hey, it's Austin. Her phone died. Just letting you know we're going to be home at like midnight. We're still going to see a movie, so a couple more hours, and then we'll be back. And she goes, okay, thanks, Austin. Thanks for keeping me in the loop. Have fun, guys. Love you. And that was it, right? Didn't think much of it. Once again, normal stuff. So me and my girlfriend go to this movie. Was there for about 2 hours, and then after that we got out, and it was about 12:30. So we were 30 minutes late from when we said we were going to be home. So we rushed back to her house. We both go inside. I say sorry to her mom that we're late. She's like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, I didn't even notice. It's no big deal. And she's just cleaning up, getting ready for bed. And yeah, after this, I said goodnight to my girlfriend, and I left her house and went back to mine. Now, I get back to my house at about 1 in the morning. I'm laying in my bed, just kind of drifting off, just slowly falling asleep. And right when I'm about to fall asleep, I get a text message from my girlfriend. And it says, hey, I had fun with you tonight, with a smiley face. So I sit up in my bed so I don't fall asleep. And I was like, yeah, I had a lot of fun too. Like, thanks for hanging out tonight. She goes, of course. And then she sends me another message, and it says, you know, my parents aren't going to be home all Sunday. And I was like, really? She goes, yep, all day. From 8 in the morning to like 8 at night, they're going to be gone. I was like, what about your sister? She's like, yep, she's going to be with them. I was like, oh shit, where are they going? She's like, some friend of theirs' house. My sister's friends with their daughter as well, so they're all just going to hang out. Now I'm a little bit stoked when I hear this, right? I'm like, okay. Me and my girl are finally going to have some alone time. Like, every time I hang out with her, her parents are there, or like we're somewhere in public, and it'd just be nice to kind of kick it with her by ourselves, right? So I was excited to hear this. So right as I'm about to respond to her message and say, what do you want to do while they're gone, right? Just, like start some flirtatious conversation, my phone dies. Of course. So it dies, and I'm like, fuck. So I quickly run over to the side of the room, plug it in, sit back down, wait for it to charge. It turns back on, and in a rush, I text really quickly, what are we going to do while they're gone, to what I thought was my girlfriend, but I guess I accidentally clicked the wrong message when I opened up messages, and I clicked on her mom. Now, don't call me stupid. Her and my girlfriend have the same name. It's just spelled differently. Her mom's name was Sarah with an H, and her name was Sarah without one. So I clicked on the one with the H. And I didn't think anything of it. I completely forgot that her mom had like the same name as her. I just didn't think. I didn't think to read. My dumbass was too tired and too happy about the fact that me and my girl were about to hang out with some alone time. I also just completely forgot that I was texting her mom earlier that night. Like, I didn't even think her mom would be in my recent messages. So yeah, I accidentally clicked on her mom and sent the message, what are we going to do while they're away, with a winky face. I had to add the fucking winky face, bro. And 2 minutes later, I get a text back from what I thought was my girlfriend, and it says on my home screen, I read it, and the message reads, oh, we're going to have some fun, with a winky face as well. I still thought it was my girlfriend. I didn't even notice the H at the end of her name. So I click the message, I go to respond, and then I look above the messages, and I see what I was sending earlier about we'll be home at midnight, like her phone died. Yeah. I've never felt my heart drop more. I was like, holy shit, I sent that message to my girlfriend's mom about having fun while they're gone. And she replied saying, oh, we're going to have some fun, winky face. I couldn't tell if she was being serious or not, so I responded and I was like, sorry, that was meant for somebody else. And she goes, yeah, no shit. I know who it was meant for. I'm messing with you. Maybe you should be a little bit more careful about who you're messaging, Austin. Dude, I have never been so fucking embarrassed in my life. So immediately I screenshot the message and I sent it to my girlfriend and I was like, hey, I don't think we can hang out Sunday anymore. And she goes, Austin, you texted my mom? Are you stupid? I was like, I don't want to answer that. She goes, oh, fuck. Well, yeah, I guess we're not hanging out or doing anything on Sunday. I was like, yeah. So not only did I fucking completely make the relationship awkward, I made the friendship I had with her mom awkward. I also ruined a very nice, fun day on Sunday. Yeah, I ruined it. My Sunday was ruined. So after this, I just didn't even want to be awake anymore. I was done with that night. I was just fucking up too much. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to bed and start fresh tomorrow. So I said sorry to my girlfriend, said sorry to her mom again, and went to bed. The next morning I woke up, I genuinely thought I had a nightmare. I literally woke up and I was like, oh shit, thank fuck that didn't happen. And then I checked my phone and remembered that it was real. And I was like, oh, Austin, you fucking dumb fuck. So yeah, I had to live with that for the rest of my relationship with her, knowing that I accidentally sent that to her mom. And unfortunately, it's not the first time I've sent something stupid to one of my girlfriend's moms before. I've told stories about that in the past on this channel as well. But yeah, moral of the story is make sure you read your messages and who you're sending them to before you click send. Also make sure if you ever save your girlfriend's mom or dad in your contacts, make sure their name is very different from your girlfriend's name, because just adding an H at the end of the name Sarah was not enough for me to realize there was a difference, and I just completely forgot that I was texting her that day. So yeah, make sure you add a big fucking emoji or like something to completely, make it different from the person you're meaning to text. Also, maybe step 3 or whatever step I'm on, don't be a dumbass like Austin and just maybe use your brain, because clearly on this night, my brain was turned off entirely from being tired. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video for my pain and suffering. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below, and subscribe if you're new. And before I say peace, I just want to say I've been streaming on Twitch almost every day this last week, playing the new COD, playing Warzone. So if you guys want to come check that out, I'll probably be live tonight in a couple of hours, probably around 10 p.m. So yeah, I'm going to leave that first link in the description if you want to come check that out. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all tomorrow. I'm continuing the daily upload streak. I'm not going to fuck up this time, I promise. And yeah, I'll see you all later. Peace. Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time is definitely an interesting one and just an insane one. I hope you enjoy it. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's get into it. So today's story time all takes place in 2017. Now, in 2017, my daily routine consisted of just doing YouTube videos and, just working on YouTube, streaming, all that kind of stuff. Really nothing out of the ordinary from what I currently do. Maybe I stream a little bit less now, but, back then I was streaming a lot. And nothing was really going on that was that interesting at the time. But one day in 2017, I'm sitting in my room on my phone, just got done making a YouTube video. I was just literally taking a break, laying down on my phone, scrolling Twitter, just doing, what I normally would do after I was done making videos. And a homie hit me up. Let's call his friend Logan. Now, Logan hits me up, and he's like, yo, dude, you're never going to guess what I just found in my little brother's room. And Logan's little brother was only a year younger than we were. Me and Logan were both 19, and his little brother was 18. So he wasn't much of a little brother, you know what I mean? And I was like, what is it? And he goes, bro, I found weed in his room. And I was like, oh, cool. What about it? Because, dude, this kid's 18. I don't know. He's an adult. He can do what he wants. And he goes, oh, I don't know, man. He just never seemed like the type of kid that would smoke weed. I was, and obviously, my friends were, but never him. And I was like, well, bro, what do you expect? He's 18 years old. He was going to try it at some point in his life. And he's like, yeah, man, but, you know what I mean? He just never seemed like the type. And I can't lie. Logan was right about that. His little brother was always very straight edge, very by-the-book living. He didn't really stray far off the good path. You know what I mean? So it was odd to hear that he had weed in his room, but at the same time, like I just said, he was 18 years old, he had to try it at some point in his life. So I asked Logan, I'm like, well, are you sure, this is a new thing? Maybe he's been smoking for years and we just never knew. He's like, nah, man, I already talked to him about it. He told me he hadn't even tried it yet and he was going to try it this weekend, but I took it from him because I didn't trust him. And I was like, bro, you stole his weed? He's like, yeah, man, I don't want him doing that shit. He's too young. I'm like, bro, he's 18. What are you on about? I'm like, bro, you're literally 19 and you've been smoking weed for 5 years straight. You literally started when you actually were too young to start. And he's like, yeah, I guess, but I don't know. I don't want him to do that. I'm like, well, he's not going to do that because he's 8 fucking teen. See the math here? You started at 14. He's starting at 18. He's also an adult. You can't take his stuff. He goes, yeah, I can, especially if it's illegal. I'm like, okay, Logan, I'm going to use that same logic next time me and you are smoking together. I'm just going to steal your weed, put it in my pocket, and take it home because it's illegal and now it's mine and I'm going to smoke it because you're too young. And while I'm talking to him on the phone, his brother walks in the room, his little brother. And I was like, yo, put your little brother on the phone. He's like, okay. So he puts his little brother on the phone. I'm like, yo, so Logan told me he found weed in your room and he took it. He's like, yeah, man, he won't give it back. I'm like, okay, well, I'm talking to Logan right now. He's going to give it back to you. Don't worry. And he goes, all right, man, good luck. And he hands the phone back to Logan. And I basically just tell Logan, I'm like, bro, give him his weed back. He's an 18-year-old dude. He's a full-grown adult at this point. Give him his fucking weed back. Let him make his own decisions. Let him learn his own lessons. Stop trying to interfere with his life. And Logan's like, fine, bro, fine. I'll give it back, but under one condition. We have to be there when he smokes for the first time, and we're smoking with him to make sure he's doing it right and to make sure this shit is good. And I was like, okay. So later that night, I went over to Logan's house, hung out with him and his little brother. We went in the backyard, and we started packing this bowl with the weed that Logan got. Now, I can't lie. When I was looking at it, it was pretty dark out, so I couldn't really see what it looked like. But it smelled really good, and I looked over at Logan, and I was like, yo, I can't really see it, but it smells good. Like, did it look good earlier when you saw it in the day? He's like, yeah, man, it looks like good shit. I think it's solid. And I'm like, okay. So we packed this bowl. Logan goes to take the first hit, and his little brother interrupts him, and he goes, hey, man, I should be able to hit it first. Like, it's my stuff. And Logan goes, okay, fine. All right, fine. And he hands him the bowl. And Logan's little brother takes the lighter and starts ripping it, right? And he takes a hit. He holds it in for like 10 seconds, which in my opinion is just completely unnecessary. You don't even need to hold weed in like that. And he blows it out. And when he blows it out, he doesn't have a reaction I expect. Most people, they blow it out, they cough a little bit, and, they kind of just like sit there and let it kind of, like wash over them in a way. But he took a hit, he exhaled, and almost immediately he started to drop the bowl. Like, it fell out of his hand, it started rolling down his shirt. And, like, it was still kind of lit. So, like, there was cherries on him. And I grabbed it and I brushed it off his shirt. And he starts slumping down in the chair and, like, drooling. And me and Logan look at each other because we're like, what the fuck? This is not a normal reaction to hitting a bowl. And then we look at his little brother. And he's slumping down the chair. He's drooling. And he starts laughing hysterically. And we're looking at each other like, okay, maybe this is a normal reaction. Like, maybe he's just, like, really hit quickly by weed. I don't know, right? Like, we were really confused. But then the laughing turned to screaming. He starts hysterically screaming like somebody's like doing something terrible to him, right? And me and Logan start freaking out. We run over there and we like get down next to him. We're kneeling down. We're like holding his head steady because he's shaking his head. And we're like, yo, man, like calm down. Like, what's wrong? And he won't talk to us. He's screaming. He's like throwing his arms around. He's like just freaking out. And then while he's screaming, he starts pointing down to the grass at nothing. And when he did this, a thought popped in my mind, a memory, not a very good one. Seeing Logan's little brother act like this looked just like a bad salvia trip, like almost identical to when I did it and my friends did it and everyone I've ever seen do it. Like, if they have a bad trip, they usually start like freaking out and like looking at something and screaming or like waving their arms around and like slouching down in their chair like that. Like, all of it just looked like textbook bad salvia trip symptoms, right? Now, we end up sitting there for like 10 minutes with Logan's little brother as he calms down. And luckily, after 10, 15 minutes, he started to calm down. And that's when I also realized, like, okay, this probably is salvia because usually salvia lasts that long. And when his little brother came out of it and kind of came to, and he was like talking again, I asked him, I was like, yo, have you ever done salvia? He's like, nah, what's that? He didn't even know what it was. And I was like, all right, yo, where's that weed at? Like, I need to look at it. And he pulls the weed out that he had in his pocket. He gives it to me. And I put it under my phone flashlight. After looking at it, I think that there was salvia mixed in with the weed because there was a lot of things in the bag that looked like stems and looked like, parts of the weed plant that you wouldn't want. And salvia kind of looks like that. And also, I kept smelling it after this. And the more and more I smelled it, the more and more, like, I smelled hints of what salvia kind of smells like, which is like a minty kind of like sagey smell. I don't know how to explain it well, but it's like that. And I felt so bad for a million reasons. One, because I smelled it earlier and I didn't smell that kind of like salvia smell. And I also didn't really look at it, and I should have. Two, I literally made my friend give his little brother his weed back because he's 18 and I thought, he can make his own decisions. And three, that he took the first hit. Like, I could have done it, my friend could have done it, we could have been the testers, you know what I mean? But unfortunately, Logan's brother took the first hit and he ended up having this bad trip. And yeah, I think he got like his shit laced with salvia. So I asked him after this happened, I was like, yo, can I get your dealer's number? He's like, yeah, sure. So I get this kid's number, the dealer that sold it to him, and I hit him up and I was like, hey man, I'm friends with Logan's little brother. I said his name. And he's like, all right, bet, what you need? I was like, do you sell salvia? And immediately he responds, he goes, yeah. Do you want straight or a mixed bag? And I was like, what's a mixed bag? He goes, mixed with weed. And I was like, what? And that just confirmed it for me. I was like, oh, he's selling like mixed weed and salvia bags. And I guarantee he either accidentally sold one to Logan's little brother or he did it on purpose. So I called him out. I was like, yo, my homie's little brother, and I said his name. I was like, this kid that put me on to you just smoked some of your shit and immediately had the worst trip I've ever seen. We thought he was dying for like 10 minutes straight. Literally almost called an ambulance. So, what did you give him? He's like, just normal weed. I was like, nah, you didn't, bro. You gave him salvia. It was like textbook salvia symptoms. Like, you for sure accidentally gave him salvia with weed or something. He goes, oh, fuck, man. Like, my bad. Like, I keep him in the same kind of area. I must have grabbed one by accident and gave it to him. I was like, yo, that's not like a my bad thing. Like, you fucked up really bad. Like, you need to, like, make it up to him somehow. And he pulled up, like, 15 minutes later, gave Logan's little brother his money back with 20 on top of what he paid him. So he gave him extra money. He gave him a free bag of weed and told him he was so sorry and, like, he'll do anything to make it up to him. I didn't know this at the time, but I guess the dealer was also Logan's little brother's, like, friend. Like, they were friends before anything. So he actually was really sorry about it, and it was an accident. I could tell by the way he was talking. But that's, like, not a good accident to make, you know what I mean? Like, that's really not okay, and that's probably why you just should never have salvia ever and even associate with that shit. Like, just don't buy it, don't go anywhere near it, don't touch it. Like, that shit is bad news. Like, they made it illegal in many states for many reasons, that being one of them. It causes very awful hallucinations, to say the least. And probably a bunch of other things, too. But anyway, yeah, the dealer ended up giving Logan's little brother's money back with money on top of that. He gave him free weed. He said sorry. They, like, made up. After that, the dealer ended up leaving, and that was pretty much that. And after the dealer left, Logan's little brother looked at me, and he's like, yo, I'm not touching that free weed he gave me. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't either, bro. Like, fuck, you might smoke it and have a horrible trip again. He's like, yeah, man, I'm not trying to go into, like, La La Land again. And I was like, yo, so I gotta ask, like, do you remember anything about it? Like, what'd you see? He's like, dude, it literally looked like the grass had mouths and they were trying to bite my feet. That kind of explained why he was pointing at the grass and screaming hysterically. He literally thought the grass was a bunch of monsters trying to eat at his feet and his legs and stuff. Like, if that is not the most terrifying thing, like, holy shit. But yeah, guys, everything was okay in the end, luckily. I can say with 100% confidence, Logan's little brother has never tried to smoke weed again because his first ever experience was traumatizing, and I feel bad for him. And, yeah, moral of the story is, don't get a near salvia. That shit is bad news. Stay away from it. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much the end of the story time. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. Hello, everybody. It's Austin here, or Luna. Hope you guys are having a good day. Today's story is a very, very crazy one. One that I didn't want to tell for a couple years because it's not my proudest moment, as you could tell by the title, and it's not something I ever want to promote on here. So I do want to say before the story starts, my videos are for entertainment purposes only. Don't go out and try or do anything because you heard it in a video. The stories are for entertainment only. Just watch them, enjoy them. But don't go and do things and try things because of them. Unless I make a story time about, donating to charity, don't go repeating things I talk about in my stories. Anyway, that's enough of that. Let's jump into today's story time. So today's story is about the time that I tried coke. Never thought I'd make a video about this. Never thought I would talk about it. And never thought I would try it because I was always the person to be like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good on that. But it happened. Can't really change the past. I can just learn from it. So anyway, today's story all starts off a year and a half ago, about 2 years ago almost. I was sitting in my room at my house in New York, watching a YouTube video on my TV, just not really doing much, just chilling. And while I'm sitting there just watching YouTube, my homie Mason hits me up. My friend Mason, he texted me. He was like, yo, man, what are you up to? And I was like, I am watching YouTube. I am bored. What are you up to? He's like, I am also watching YouTube and bored. You want to go to a party with me tonight? And I was like, whose party? And he's like, Justin's. And Justin was a mutual friend of ours. I was like, yeah, where's it going to be at? He's like, he's having it at his frat house. Now, I'm not really a fan of frat houses or frats in general because most frats are just like really amped up college chads. And there's nothing wrong with being a chad, okay? I have chad friends. That's fine. But the frats in my area specifically are like ruthless, and they just have like no chill whatsoever. But I knew Justin was a good kid, and I figured any frat that he was a part of was probably fine, so I said yes. So fast forward to like 7 p.m. that night, I got ready, took a shower, got dressed, did my hair, got nice and ready for the party. Then Mason picked me up, and we went and met Justin at his frat house at this party. Now, upon arriving there, Justin gave us the tour of his frat house. This was where he was living with a bunch of other dudes, and he showed me all of the rooms, and it was a big-ass mansion, like
For a frat, they had a big house. Like, I know frat houses are usually pretty big because you have to, fit a lot of people in them. But this was like a 3-story mansion and there was like 12 bedrooms. So rent must have been pretty expensive. If I had to guess, they were probably paying like $6K a month in rent alone. Anyway, after Justin gives me and Mason the tour, we go back downstairs to the living room where all the party was pretty much happening. And I can't lie, for it being a frat party and me being skeptical, it was pretty fun. Like, most of the night, everyone was really cool. All the people I talked to in the frat were really nice guys. Everyone at that college seemed really chill. And then, about 2 hours into the party, a lot more people started showing up from all over the college. And I don't know why, but, like, there was a big shift in the attitude of people there. Like, it went from being, like, chill people that were in the frat to like just a bunch of mutual friends who no one knew. Like, I remember at one point I went up to Justin and I was like, yo, how many people here do you actually know? He's like, well, an hour ago, everybody, but now nobody, dude. Like, everyone I'm looking at, I have no idea who they are. So anyway, we just tried to make the best of it. We didn't really, think too hard on it. We still tried to enjoy ourselves. And after the party really picked up, I was sitting upstairs in Justin's room, just like having some quiet time because like I just literally couldn't handle how many people were there because it got really overwhelming. And I was sitting up there with Mason. Me and Mason were up there. And we were both just sitting there in Justin's room, just talking, taking a little break. Mason was smoking. He had his little bowl with him. And then all of a sudden, the door swings open to Justin's room, and some random drunk guy walks in, who I've never seen before, who's probably the same age as me and Mason. And he goes, oh shit, my bad, dudes. Like, I'm looking for the bathroom. And Mason goes, all good, man. Down the hall to the right. And he goes, oh, thanks, guys. Hey, is that a little bit of weed I smell? And he points to the bowl in Mason's hand, and Mason holds it up, and he's like, yep, that's me. And this random guy's like, hey, can I take a hit? And I could see the look on Mason's face. He wanted to say no so bad because he didn't know this guy, and he didn't want his mouth on his bowl. But he's just such a nice guy, he can never say no. So he was like, yeah, man, sure. So this guy walks in, takes a hit of Mason's bowl, and then after he hits it, he's coughing a little bit. And then after he's done coughing, he reaches into his back pocket and he pulls out a little yellow pill bottle. And like a quarter of the way, it's just filled up with white powder. And he goes, you guys want some? It's only right that I return the favor. And I knew what it was. It looked like Coke. But still, I was like, what is it? Because I wanted to be safe and make sure I knew exactly what that shit was. And he's like, it's blow. You ever try it? I was like, nah, I haven't. He's like, bro, how are you in college and you've never tried blow? And I was like, well, first of all, I'm not in college. I have a friend in this frat, and he invited me, but I don't go here. He's like, oh, shit, man, I had no idea. Like, you look like you fit right in. Now, I don't know if that was a compliment, but I was like, oh, thank you. And then I told him, like, yeah, well, the second reason I haven't tried it is because I'm afraid of it, being honest. Like, I'm scared to try it, and also I feel like I don't really need it because I'm pretty energetic as is. And he's like, yeah, man, well, if you don't want to try it, like, you don't have to. I just wondered if you wanted some. And the way he was talking about it, and the way that he wasn't pressuring me, and the way that, like, he did it and didn't seem too phased because I watched him do it, I, for some reason, had curiosity. I was like, you know what? Maybe I do want to try it. And obviously, I shouldn't have, but I was like, you know what? Let me try some. And he goes, really? I was like, yep. And then even Mason looked at me, my friend. He's like, really? Like, you sure? And I was like, yeah, why not? And Mason had done it before, so he didn't want to do it again. But I was like, yeah, let's do it. So this dude takes the pill bottle, opens it up, puts a line on my friend's desk, and it was fairly small. Definitely didn't seem like a lot because I was a first timer and I was also a pretty skinny dude, so he didn't know how I'd react to it. And I was nervous as fuck. I was like, oh no, like how is this about to affect me? And the dude hands me the dollar that he was using to snort it. He's like, all right, man, all you. And I just went for it. I just did it. I snorted it. And that shit, like, instantly could feel it. I've tried many things. If you've been watching this channel for a long time, you know that. And a lot of crazy stuff has happened, and I've felt a lot of crazy things, but I've never had something kick in so fast. It also kind of hurt, can't lie. Definitely a little bit painful going up my nose. I remember looking at him, the dude that gave it to me. I didn't even know his name yet, and I was like, yo, that shit is no joke. He's like, yeah, crazy, right? I was like, what's your name? He's like, Arthur. And I tried not to laugh because I just did not expect that name. But I was like, oh, thanks, man. He's like, yeah, no problem. You feeling okay? I was like, yeah, that was quick. He's like, yeah, man, it goes straight to you. I was like, yeah, definitely does. He's like, so how do you feel? And I was like, I'm okay. He's like, all right, cool. You want to go back down to the party? And me, him, and Mason went back down to the party together. And if I could describe how I felt, it just felt like an immediate burst of, like, confidence. It almost felt like Honestly, this is going to sound kind of nerdy, but it's true. When I hit 1,000,000 subs that day, I was super just like on cloud nine, very confident feeling, very happy. And it recreated that kind of feeling for like 30 minutes. And then it was gone. And after it was gone, I felt so fucking tired and just so out of it and just kind of like shit. And I immediately realized how people get addicted to that shit. Because like people are constantly trying to keep up. Because it wears off so quickly that like they get tired again and they go and do it again to kind of like perk themselves back up and, you know, feel good again. Anyway, I'm glad that I felt the come down because it made me very much like aware of why I shouldn't do that shit and just like make it a one-time thing essentially. And yeah, after I came down and felt super tired and like shit, I went up to Mason and I was like, yo man, I'm ready to go. He's like, yeah, you coming down? I was like, yep. And we got in his car and we drove home. He drove. He wasn't drinking. I was not in the position to drive for obvious reasons. So he drove me home. And we just hung out at my house for the rest of the night, and I fell asleep. And the next day I woke up, and Justin called me, the dude that invited us, and he's like, yo, I heard through a little birdie last night that you tried something, Austin. Is that true? And I was like, yep. He's like, are you okay? And I was like, I'm fine. He's like, I never expected of all people you to try that. I was like, me neither, man. He goes, are you going to do a story about it? And I literally said no on the phone. I was like, nah, man, I'm good. Like, I don't want to, like, push that shit on my audience and make them, like, think I'm out here doing coke every day. And, like, I don't want them to get inspired. And I still don't want that. So, like I said in the beginning, don't go out and try that stuff. It's very, very bad for you and very dangerous. But anyway, after me and Justin talked for a little bit, we hung up. And me and Mason just got breakfast. And the rest of that day was pretty normal. So yeah, all in all, that's pretty much the end of the story time. Very crazy one in my opinion. One that I thought would never be a video on this channel. So definitely crazy. So if you like this video, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. And that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please leave a like. Feel free to leave any of your crazy story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Peace.
So before recording this, I almost didn't even want to fucking make this video just because I knew people are going to take from it and literally use it for the bad. Like, nothing good can come from the story I'm about to tell you guys, so I guess sit back, relax, enjoy, and don't repeat my stupid friend's actions either because could have gotten us into some serious fucking shit. And actually, now looking back at it, he really kind of did get us in some serious shit, so yeah, let's get into this. So this was not fucking long ago, okay? It was during the summer. Me and a few friends were chilling at my buddy's house. My friend just started fucking dating this new girl, and he was like legitimately tied to his phone the whole night. Like, the whole week, honestly. He was just like straight Snapchatting and texting and fucking Kick. The whole fucking 9 yards, dude. And I'm not trying to be that fucking cock-blocking dude to be like, oh yeah, dude, bros before hoes, because I just think that shit's stupid. But he literally invited us over and then just straight glued himself to his fucking Snapchat and like literally let us talk to each other. Like, I don't know, maybe he just wanted to invite us over as a social experiment and let us talk to each other and see how it goes and make a fucking bomb-ass YouTube video out of it. Inviting friends over and then sitting on Snapchat. Gone sexual, gone wrong, in the fucking hood. It's really just quality right there. I don't know why he didn't do that. But anyway, I kind of told him, I was like, dude, you've been on your phone all fucking night. You want to play something or do something? And he was like, yeah, dude, hold on. And he put his fucking head down, dude, and he was typing faster than he's ever fucking typed before, right? So I was like, dude, what do you got going on over there? And my friend's like, yeah, dude, you look like you're scheming something. What's up, man? And my friend just looks at us and goes, I'm working on something over here, okay? Something real important. And the funniest thing is my friend literally fucking called it. My friend just goes, you're getting nudes from her, aren't you? And the smirk that my friend just looked at us with, and we were like, yeah, you're literally getting nudes from your girlfriend, and that's why you've been on your phone all night. Now look, I didn't think danger could really come from nude photos, but after this shit happened, made me think a little fucking different. So he's sitting there, right, and he's just typing away. He's like, dude, I'm about to get him, I'm about to get him. And finally, like, you see the fucking little red square pop up on Snapchat from his girlfriend. He's like, dude, I got the fucking photos. Come here, come here. He was literally treating nude photos from his girlfriend as if it was like a fucking secret formula that could literally cure any fucking disease ever. So me and my friends looked at him and we were like, dude, relax, like, chill out. So we walked over there and he clicks the photo to open it up, and sure enough, it is what we all thought they were. They were fucking nude pictures of my friend's girlfriend, and I felt really weird looking at him because, you know, it was the first time he's ever fucking getting these photos, and he's immediately showing people. But anyway, my friend next to me that was looking at the pictures also was like, dude, that's so fucking hot, screenshot that. And he literally went to my friend's phone in his hands, pressed the home button and pressed his finger down on the sleep button and literally screenshotted my friend's girlfriend's nude photos. Straight up, like What the fuck? So we all turned around and looked at my friend, and not the friend that received the nudes. We're talking about the friend that screenshotted the nudes, okay? So we all looked at him. We were like, dude, are you fucking stupid? Like, are you actually stupid? Now I have to give these kids names, okay? Alex is the one that received the nudes. Daniel is the one that no, I'm not using Daniel. Fuck that. Jacob was the one that screenshotted them. Now Alex was literally pretty much preparing to kick the shit out of Jacob. They were really in each other's faces, and they were yelling and just straight screaming at each other. Keep in mind, they're fighting, and me and my friend have my friend's phone, and we're trying to literally open the snaps of his girlfriend, because his girlfriend is like spamming his phone with fucking Snapchats, being like, oh my god, you screenshotted that. What are you doing, you creep? You screenshotted me. And we're just fucking replying with black fucking images, like straight black pictures on Snapchat with captions over them. Just being like, oh my god, no, it was an accident. I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, sweetie, sorry. We're just like trying to fucking buy our time. And she was just freaking the fuck out. She had every right to. Like, no joke, dude. I think we could all agree on this. If we were in her situation, I'd probably fucking want to literally throw myself through my phone, through Snapchat, come out on the other side of my friend's phone and literally just beat the fuck out of him with a Scrabble board. Like, straight up, dude. But anyway, we literally ended up calming the girl down. Like, we straight up got her to just chill out and, like, basically stop fucking caring. Well, my two friends are fighting, keep in mind. They were still fighting. They were literally, like, wrestling. They weren't fucking punching each other. They were just wrestling to the ground. And they're wrestling, and we're literally trying to pretend to be my friend and solve a fucking fight. Like, I didn't sign up for that shit. I was just trying to go to my friend's house, play some video games, do some fucking black tar with my homies, man. I just wanted to hang out. Completely fucking joking, by the way. I just really want to go to my friend's house and chill with them, but didn't end up happening. Had to solve my friend's relationship crisis. I felt so bad for the girl too, but at least in the end everything ended up being all good because we literally just pretended to be her boyfriend through Snapchat using black pictures and just text. But we literally convinced her there was an accident because it fucking was. My stupid friend leaned over and screenshotted it. And for him, it wasn't really a happy ending with him. My friend literally hasn't hung out with him since. I mean, can you fucking blame him, dude? I think if one of my friends purposely screenshotted my girlfriend as a joke and, like, wouldn't even say sorry about it afterwards, he's kind of a cunt. Just a little bit. But yeah, I guess moral of the story is don't fucking be him. Don't be that cunt. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Leave a fucking like if you did enjoy. And I'm actually going live right now, so if you guys want to come down to the live stream and hang out with me, I'll put that link in the description. And yeah, guys, I'll see you all tomorrow. Peace.